Yum.
You're just gonna keep making yum yum noises into the
Mm.
mic.
I'm drinking apple juice. It's quite nice.
Apple juice is the bomb, so
It's
I
what?
understand. It is the bomb. I understand.
Okay. That's
It's good. I love apple juice.
okay. Thanks, Mr. 90s. Appreciate the commentary.
Totally radical.
Yeah, tubular, you might say. Well, I'm having more 80s, I don't know. I forget my ancient slang from the before time. Um,
From another. Wait, did they say that kind of thing in Britain? I
no.
assumed that was American slang, but
Yeah, it's absolutely American slang, but where do you think we got slang from?
that's
Oh.
yeah. All right.
It was by that point it was TV, so it was kind of a mix of American slang and also British slang. Uh, so yeah, that was a little bit of a mix and match in bits and pieces. So some of it came over, some of it didn't. Dude
Yeah.
became a thing in the early 2000s. I remember that much because I
Wow.
said it a lot.
Only the early 2000s. Man, that took a while.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't know from before then, would I? I was
Oh,
10.
well, fair enough. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, you were around people, right?
Yeah, I was around 10-year-olds. Uh, yeah. So, podcast, yay. How's it going?
Hey, we're here.
Yay.
Yeah.
Between how tired we are, we make up like a whole person
Mm.
collectively.
I got like 6 hours of sleep. I was like working on a commission until like literally the second I went to bed because once again I'm fucking late on everything.
It happens. You do a lot of work.
6 hours of sleep and then like an hour before my alarm went off to do the podcast, I got rung up by a charity that went defunct that I used to donate to before it went defunct, saying, "Hey, we've got a new thing going. Do you maybe want to donate again?" And I'm like, ah. This is before I realized what time it was and how annoyed I should be. So I'm like, yeah, fine, here's the details, and sleepily gave her my bank details so that she could put the thing through. Uh, and then I end the call and I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, back to sleep. What time is it? Fuck. So yeah, I I was very mad at that woman. Like after the phone call ended, so I really could have used that extra
Yeah.
hour of sleep.
Yeah. I mean, by the time the phone call ended, you would have had what, like 30 minutes before your alarm went off?
Yeah. Uh, it's like when you get woken up early, like when it's just that little bit too early that you know you're not going to get any worthwhile sleep, but it's still no point in getting up. It makes
Yeah.
it feel like that extra time you could have had would have been so much more worth it than it probably would have.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't even have noticed, but
It's the principle of the thing, okay?
yeah.
I did the work. I was in Sleepy Pie. It was good. I was enjoying it. Yeah. And Casey, by the way, how's it going? The whiny one. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Sliciness. I'm running on an hour and a half of sleep. So,
I feel
I'm
like a dick.
I'm zero, and I don't know what happened to my sleep schedule. At one moment, I was awake, and it was like 10 o'clock, and I was just like, "Oh, I need to get up so I can do my late night workout because it's too hot during the day." And then I woke up, and it was 5 a.m.
oh, whoops.
And then I struggled to get back to sleep, and woke up again at like 6, and then 7, and then 9.
I
Getting
have been
consistent
there.
sleep is hard.
Yeah, I have been there. I missed a podcast because of that kind of thing. Like just woken up by the alarm. And I'm like, yeah, I need to do the thing.
I've missed multiple podcasts for that reason.
You have.
Wake up, I'm like, oh, I got half an hour. I can, relax a little bit, and then I'm out. Just like 2 minutes later.
Yep.
Then my work alarm wakes me up 3 hours later.
Yeah, it's a bad time. Zero's here and stuff. I don't remember whether he introduced himself or just said the
I
exercise thing.
did.
Okay, yeah. Hi, everybody. It's warm.
It was like, it was the hottest day of the year so far in California yesterday.
Nothing is on fire yet, I hope.
Wait until the gender reveal parties for the children.
Fuck.
I can't believe those are still a thing. How can people be this stupid?
Yeah, when you cause like 4 natural disasters, well, natural disasters in quotes, you'd think that would be a really good sign that this kind of thing just can't be a thing. Don't do this. Or at least stop setting fires while you do it. Like explosives and accelerants, maybe give those a miss, you know. Do a piñata with and you'd whack it open and then the candies are inside are a certain color and that's the gender reveal, you know.
You just get blue or pink candies, or green if you want to keep it, if you're making a statement. Whatever.
Yeah.
My child is not male or female; they are Hulk.
I mean that's a thing. I mean, if a parent does not want to announce their child's gender, but their family like pressures them into doing it, I've seen people do green before.
That's fair enough.
And then the Hulk was born.
Yeah, I can actually respect that, except for the whole gender reveal thing, just in general. Like that's come on.
Doesn't matter that much what the gender is.
Yeah, just
It really does not.
Hey, if your family's pressuring you into doing something you don't want to do, then fuck them. Do whatever you want to do. So that's the Fandom Flux Advice Hour. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah. Welcome to our TED Talk.
Please stop setting California on fire.
Yes. Stop doing that.
Please stop.
And also other places.
The other states are suffering the smoke from the entire fucking state being on fire.
I just want one summer in which we are not on fire.
Yeah.
You'd think it was not that much to ask, just to not be on fire for just a little while, but nope.
It's one of those
like
things
it's fine if it's a
funny
lightning strike, that's
laugh.
unavoidable, right? But
Yeah. Alright, so I've been trying to think of things that I did over the past multiple weeks that, you know, I have had to do things. And, been coming up empty, even though I'm pretty sure I did things. I don't remember any of them. Yeah.
Would you like someone else to go first, or?
Yeah, sure. So rescue. Help.
All right. Well, I decided to actually watch anime for the first time in a while. A lot of anime. I binge watched Nagatoro. So that was fun.
I was not introduced to that one well. It was the sus clip. It's that's
it's she just says the word. It's not even. She's basically saying he's a pervert, but a different way of saying it.
Yeah,
so
did she actually say sus, or was it just fucking subtitle wankery?
I don't understand Japanese, so I mean, for all I know, it could mean that, but they just decided to, be a little.
It seems like subtitle jankery from what I read of the manga.
Yeah. No, that's just kind of a thing. It's depressing how many authors I've had to just put my foot down on, as they're like, I want to include this reference. No, stop. Stop it.
Yeah.
This will not age well.
Yeah. That's a concern that a lot of writers don't take into account. Like professional and amateur. So
Yeah. I mean, it's different if you're writing like the scary movies where they're 100% references. Like,
yeah, like it's not meant to age well. It's for a very specific time period.
exactly. But this was definitely that usually. But no, that in the show, it's just someone doing the subtitles decide to get a little cheeky. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
But no, I appreciated the twist on the usual bullies the nerdy kid essentially, but she's hot, so it's okay, or whatever the twist is. Turns out when she's not around, fuck, I don't know, I forget his name. Senpai.
Python.
That's what the older friend calls him. I don't know if that's actually his name.
People call him Python. You can just say Python.
Oh, that works. Yeah, him. Whenever she's not around him, she's actually like completely emotionally shut off and cold to everyone, except for maybe her friends when she's acting like gossipy friend, whatever. So it's really interesting to see like that switch being flipped, and she goes from just flat to what all the memes show. And just how she immediately shuts down anyone else trying to flirt with her, but she's just folds like tissue paper when he does anything. It's fun. It's genuinely fun to watch.
They have a really cute relationship dynamic that develops over time.
Very much so, yeah. The Paizan senpai character doesn't really develop much of a spine for a while, but he earns it slowly. It's nice. Although I will admit, the character was bullied by people when he was younger. So obviously that's why he's so bashful, shy, spineless, whatever. But then she starts bullying him, and it's suddenly okay. Like he's attached to her for some reason and is okay with her teasing him constantly. It's like that's not generally how trauma works. But okay, sure. If he had reacted like that later in the series, it would make sense because he would have grown to appreciate her and realize that she doesn't push things too far. But yeah, she gets a little brutal in that first episode. Like if you can get past the first episode, nothing that she does will bother you.
Yeah, they have to. Yeah, you have to do a little bit of suspending of your disbelief for the premise to start working.
Yeah, a little bit. It's not too bad, but that first episode is probably the roughest it's going to get. So, good litmus test, essentially. Yeah, it gets a recommendation for me. I think the 8th episode comes out in the next few days. I think it comes out on Fridays. I can say 1 through 7 is really good.
Better than the memes would imply, then.
I mean, the memes are pretty spot on. Usually. It's just a snapshot of whatever scene they're in.
The manga, which I've been reading for quite some time, really, progress has been made. You get to know a lot more about Nagatoro and the senpai. Like, it takes a while until you actually even learn his full name, which is Naoto Hachioji. Like, you don't even get to hear his last name for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I don't remember that name being mentioned at all in the series. So,
but
yeah,
over time you get to know more about these people. We get to know more about why Nagatoro is kind of the way she is, and why our good old Python is working in the art club alone. You know,
that is an interesting thing to find out, because yeah, he's in the art club and it's always just him. There's no other members, or if there is, they don't come in.
Yeah, and there's a reason
Oh.
for that.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's good to know. Let's see. There's that. Mass Effect Legendary Edition came out, so the remake or redo or whatever of all three games.
Yeah, I got a friend
And
who's been
American Way.
playing that and talking to me about it. What are your thoughts?
It's good. I'm only I want to say about 60% through the first game. I haven't had a lot of free time lately, unfortunately. But the only issue I've run into is sometimes when you get out of the Mako on the planets, you can't get back in it. The game just will not let you. You press the X button to get in, and then nothing happens, and you can't like activate whatever you hopped out to look at either. So essentially, the game just soft locks you on the planet, and that's not good. Thankfully, the game auto saves as soon as you hit touchdown on a planet first, so you might have to redo a planet a few times. But I've only ran into that on one planet, so it's not too bad.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I'm grateful it's not too bad. It's a very pretty game. It's the same as it was before, really. So, it's a lot of fun to go back and experience like the hardcore RPG mechanics that were in the first game that they kind of phased out in the later ones. It's not quite KOTOR space D&D, but there is a lot more numbers than I remember there being in other games. I mean, it's just the remake of the games. Like the third game the ending is going to be shit, and I'm okay with that. I don't expect it to be different.
Just the second game's main plot is going to be shit too.
I mean, the plot of the second game is not the appeal of the second game. I feel
Probably should be in a trilogy. That's plot of.
Actually, no. Usually, the middle act is like the least important. So
That's not
the
how
fact
that
that
works.
it's literally meaningless.
The middle act is the
it
one
is,
that sets
though.
up the final act. That is literally how a second act in a 3-act structure is supposed to work. He's supposed to have the setup in that.
I thought the setup was in the first act. Middle act was kind of filler, and then the last act was
No.
resolution.
That's not how that works.
Well, that's how this one works. Because it's... Oh boy, is it completely worthless. I mean, I guess it would have meant something if you failed, but, Commander Shepard doesn't fail, so that's fine. But, yeah, it's fun. I am enjoying it a lot. It's a very stable game. It plays well. That's really all that matters. Barring the Mako issues. And I think that's actually it. I saw Mugen Train.
What?
The Demon Slayer movie. Mugen Train.
Okay,
Demon Slayer movie. It is boy did they have a budget. Like, they call it Sakuga when like a series jumps up in quality for just a couple minutes, usually during a fight scene. That whole ass movie is Sakuga. Nonstop. It's a very pretty movie. I think it's worth watching. Things actually happen in it that matter. It's not just worthless filler, return to status quo. Actually, like, really big things happen in it, actually, so it's the opposite of that. I fully recommend watching it if you were a fan of Demon Slayer. It is really good. Once it finally hits whatever streaming platform it's going to come to. I have to assume there's some kind of exclusionary contract to be in theaters, because it should have hit something by now. Funimation or Crunchyroll or whatever. But yeah, I believe that's all I've really done.
When did the film come out?
It's been a while. I mean, it's been, I feel like a couple of months now.
I don't know. Demon Slayer is one of those great cultural touchstones that I completely missed.
I watched the first episode of Demon Slayer. Then I forgot to watch the rest.
You both are missing out. I mean, there's no rush on getting to it. It's not like you have to by any means, but it is a good series.
You already did watch the.
You watch.
So, you know how you recommended that Full Dive RPG anime?
I did not. I watched the rest of that. Don't watch it. It's so bad.
So I went
I've
and I
forgotten about
watched.
that.
So I went and I watched it.
Why? I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I don't
he gets
recall.
it.
Could someone
Okay,
refresh?
so it's Full Dive RPG. This VR game is way shittier than real life.
That's the full title.
Basically, might have it slightly incorrect, but whatever.
You got the premise.
So the main character basically gets scammed out of getting the game that he wants, and so ends up picking up this old game, which kind of is the reason why VR MMO games are in decline, because it was too realistic. They pursued realism to the absolute peak.
Like the game auto saves and will not let you delete your save, so you are locked into every decision you make.
Let me explain this a bit. So number one, your stats of your character are based on your stats in real life. You cannot do anything that you could not do in real life. Number two, food, bathroom, all of that is still necessary. Number three, if you die, your console breaks and the game breaks too.
I didn't get to that part, or I wasn't paying attention when they mentioned that. That's
So,
even worse.
The first 4-ish episodes are just torture. It's just awful, the stuff that he goes through. It's just bad thing after bad thing after bad thing.
There's literally no reason he's continuing to play the game. It's so stupid.
And then we get to learn more about the character, and the whole reason why he's shut himself up playing games is because he was in track, and he was like the star of the track team. And something rather embarrassing and bad happened, and traumatizing even happened when he was going for the big track meet.
Mm-hmm.
And so he gave up on track.
Poop stuff happened.
And so
I think it was,
he beat himself because he didn't get a chance to go to the bathroom because he was talking to this track legend who was possibly recruiting. And this has led him to have a mentality where, he is giving up on pretty much everything, and he's withdrawn from his family, and his relationship with his sister, which used to be good and healthy, has declined considerably. And so the reason he decides to end up playing this game and continuing on is because he wants to see something to completion. He doesn't want to give up on anything anymore. And after those first couple really bad episodes, good things start to happen, and it feels really good. And
do they, though? I mean, I only saw the first 3, and then I started reading synopsises, but it doesn't sound good.
He ends up, some good stuff starts happening, and some hard stuff happens too, and it's difficult, but is definitely not a series for the faint of heart. I feel like they go a bit too far. But I feel like they're trying to tell a specific type of story. And I'll have to see how the season finishes to really give my full thoughts. But I mean, I'm going to keep watching it. Because there were some moments where I was like, that's genuinely good that he got closure for this thing, or that there is a development here. And it's not exactly like, if you read a synopsis, it's not going to quite convey the scenes in question.
Not really. It pretty much all sounded terrible.
It's not entirely terrible. If it was entirely terrible, I wouldn't be talking about the show as much in as positive a light as I am trying to paint it, which is just a small bit of positivity.
Hmm.
The dude, he goes through some awful stuff, but it's not awful in the same way where like ReZero is going to kill you over and over and over again and make you suffer and cause your mind to break or anything. It's awful in a completely different way that is somehow meaner
Hmm.
at
Yeah,
times.
it's pretty much just bullying. Nobody listens to the main character at all, and he doesn't really make an effort to speak up excessively. He never really puts his foot down, basically.
He does a few times. Um, but yeah. That one's an oof. If you're interested in seeing how this boy, former track star, is trying to endure this, go ahead. But there's definitely like one scene in particular that will turn you off to this show. Will turn most people off to this show. Um, but yeah, I saw that, and I
Which
also
which scene are you hinting at?
um, the one where he gets captured after and put in prison. The one that's right after
Ah,
that.
gotcha.
Yeah. May turn some people on though.
Yeah,
You never know.
yeah. You never
But
know.
I also watched Cruella, the Disney movie featuring Cruella DeVille.
Does
Misunderstood
your
dog Skinner.
Yeah. Does
So,
your opinion differ from the stuff that was mentioned in the Discord, or
so
how do you
mention the
feel?
sub mentioned in the Discord. I actually agree that if you divorce this movie from 101 Dalmatians, it's a pretty good movie. Um, that being said, there's some stupid stuff in this movie. There's some really stupid stuff. I just laughed out loud. The opening scene. So Cruella DeVille was born with black and white hair,
Really?
like an anime character, and it caused her to cause people to bully her, but then she get into fights, and then she got like kicked out of school in like fourth grade.
Oh, fuck off.
And then her mother goes to this whole thing where there's this big mansion on this cliff, and there's this rich person there who she's gonna go see if she can, ask for some help, somebody that she knows. And Corella, sorry, her name's Estella right now. Corella's the name of her dark side. Corella gets chased by these three Dalmatians that get off their leash through the party, and rock and roll music is playing. And then she goes running towards her mother, and she falls down this hill, and the dogs jump over her, and then they tackle her mom off the cliff and push her off the cliff.
Wow. That's surprisingly Disney.
And her mom just falls into the fog down below.
Long live the king.
And I just started laughing because she just ragdolls after being pushed by dogs off a cliff. I'm just like, this is so stupid. So stupid. But like, I mean, there's stupid things like where she get the name Corella DeVille. There's a car that's called a DeVille, and it's like, well, I guess Corella DeVille. That sounds like a good last name to my Cruella persona.
So she didn't take, like, that wasn't her family name. She just legally changed her name to a car.
It's called a Devil, but we'll call it Deville. The cars, whatever.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna change my last name to Charger or BMW.
You know what? Charger is a pretty good last name.
I'd take that name. That'd be pretty cool. Sounds good to me.
But
Or Firebird.
Casey Fiesta.
So the actual plot of the movie is Cruella kind of grew up as an orphan and had to, or Estella rather, and end up meeting up with the people who in the 101 Dalmatians, like Horace and whatever the other guy's name is. They're her henchmen in the 101 Dalmatians movie, but in this one they are orphans who work together and then start stealing, and they're thieves who go around stealing stuff to get by. But Cruella has a big interest in fashion and being a fashion designer, and that's what she wants to be. And yeah, what ends up happening is you have a movie about with a lot of fashion, with her working in the fashion industry and ending up learning more about this figure known as the Baroness, who's like the top fashion designer in London, and also may have something to do with her mother's death. At the very least, she has her mother's heirloom, family heirloom, and Cruella wants it back, so she tries to steal it from her, and eventually decides, I'm going to just... This person is awful. I'm going to burn everything they have down to the ground. And she develops the Cruella persona as this fashion designer who always creates these big moments meant to upstage the Baroness and do all these crazy things. And it's fashion sabotage slash not necessarily espionage, but kind of. And that whole plot, well, it is a bit predictable and tropey. I enjoyed it. Of like, you are dealing with Cruella is not a good person. She is pretty twisted, pretty wicked, and you know she's not going to murder dogs in this movie because you want people to root for her. So you know that's why you got to divorce her from 101 Dalmatians. But she's a villain having to deal with somebody who's even worse, and so she's going to do it in her
the only way
way.
to do a villain movie these days.
Mm-hmm.
Introduce someone worse.
Yeah, Maleficent did the same thing. Well, it also decided to make her a good and misunderstood person to start with, but also made the other guy worse.
Yeah, no, Cruella is a thief who breaks many laws to get where she
Before or
is.
after her heel turn of Mother Death?
I mean, after Mother Death, but she was like a kid, and even as a kid, she still got into fights all the time and fought people.
Because she had black and white hair.
And she is naturally pretty aggressive. So, yeah. The movie ends with everything in position to lead to 101 Dalmatians, except I don't see why Cruella would want to kill dogs and turn them into coats. So they'd have to, change that aspect if they were to do like a sequel where the actual plot of the movie takes place. But
they're going to. You know they are.
I mean, she has the motivation because of the mother killing, I guess. But
no, that's not even a thing, really. It's more that anger is more pushed towards. At first, it's herself that she hates because she believes she led those dogs right to her mom, But she doesn't actually like.
Sounds like she kind of did though.
Yeah, she doesn't
So-
actually. More stuff comes to light, and you learn more. But she doesn't actually hate dogs.
Is
in fact,
she
she has her own
she like
dogs.
is she a fashion icon at least? Like, is she in the fashion world?
Yeah, she is a fashion icon, and everybody knows her and talks about her by the end of that movie.
Okay. At least they set up that.
Yeah, no, there's some stupid parts, but I liked it. The character writing was good. I mean, there was a plot twist that was a little bit silly, but the costume design is fantastic. Like everything looks very high fashion. The movie takes place, I believe, in the 80s, which is pretty interesting. So you get a lot of that style, you get a lot of that style of music. So, yeah, I would actually recommend this. Just, laugh when the lady ragdolls.
Well, yeah, of course. Maybe quote Lion King like Casey did. It was perfect.
Yeah, it is by no means like I've seen a lot of these Disney live action things.
It's not the worst.
It is far from the worst.
Honestly, from what you're describing, it sounds well done. It's just confusing why they did it in the first place.
Yes.
Because Disney can't do anything but recontextualize the films they made 30 years ago.
Yeah,
30 years ago is generous. The One and Dalmatians were like in the 70s, but you know what I mean.
I would say that's new, but honestly, this is just the modern equivalent of unlocking the vault for a short time. Like, they're just rehashing the same movie, but they can't re-release it again on DVD or whatever these days because of digital.
Yeah.
Cruella de Vil. Cruel devil.
Cruel car.
I like the henchmen guys and the various cast of characters that she kind of ropes into forming her rogues guild of fashion. Kind of nice.
Are they like cartoonishly stupid or evil or wacky?
I mean, there's real drama, but there's like I guess one character is a little bit cartoonishly wacky, but not so to the point that it's annoying.
That's good.
Cruel jalopy.
So, yeah, go watch it. Let me know what you think, because
Cruel Volkswagen Beetle.
if you go in with no expectations, you'll have an enjoyable time. I mean, the fact that this movie even exists is bizarre, but
I don't think I can get past the dog murder. I'll admit, that's a sticking point for me. Call me crazy, but
Cruel Punto.
no dogs are killed in this movie. Dogs just murder somebody in this movie. That's fine. Cruel
that is
Ford.
good to know. I mean, well, okay, the three dogs that killed her mom, they're probably gone. I assume.
Cruel Hyundai.
I'm not sure actually, because Dalmatians appear later on in the movie, but I'm not sure if I don't think they're the same ones. But I don't know. It's kind of messed up if they are the same ones because of later plot things. Oh my gosh. I gotta but I don't think they are the same ones. I think the time difference between when she was a kid and when she's an adult would mean that,
They'd be dead.
yeah. So, yeah. Cruella. What's next? Disney didn't they make a Pinocchio live action?
I want to say.
When did they do that? Oh no, that's still upcoming.
Okay, you know what? That one I might be okay with because there is a live action Pinocchio. It is not. Uh, it is disturbing.
Got no strings on me.
Yeah. So, what? Anything else, Zero?
Oh yeah, I beat I bought, played, and beat Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yeah, you mentioned that in Discord. Yeah.
So that is a good game. That is fun to explore because it's a good old Metroidvania, get your power ups, explore, and everything. Um, the story is, you know, it's pretty interesting, but it's also pretty bare bones because it is Ori. Basically, the whole bird that big owl, crazy owl that you fought at the end of Ori, you're raising her daughter, Ku, and Ku and Ori go out on an adventure, and they get caught in a storm and end up landing separated on this island, very far away from home. So Ori goes to go and try to find Ku and has to go on adventures. And there's a few twists that you're not expecting, but in general, the tone of the game is much sadder than Blind Forest. Like, villains are not going to be redeemed. Some characters will just die and stay dead. There's one thing where there's this thing called the decay, right? And it is spreading and it's turning these little monkey like people, the monkey, to stone. And you get a side quest from this monkey to go and find his family. They live in this little hut on the edge of town. Here's the key, or on the edge of the silent forest. And you go and you find his hut, and in the background of the area, because it's a 2D game, so in the background you see two stone monkey. And you're like, oh. So you go and tell them the news, and you're like, hey, they didn't make it. And he's like, oh, I need to go be with my family. Sorry. And he leaves. And it's like, quest complete. But I was curious. So I went back to that hut, and I saw the two stone monkey, but now kind of embracing them was a third stone monkey.
Oh, that's depressing.
Yeah, it hit me really hard. And there's moments like that in Will of the Wisps, where things don't get resolved in a way that makes you feel necessarily happy or relieved. There are sacrifices that are made. And, Ori has to grow up and, make some decisions.
Is that, would you say, the moral of the game?
I would call it, I saw somebody describe it as this, and I would agree, a coming of age story. And dealing with the, reality of things. This all being said, the gameplay itself and moving from place to place is still very fun. They added a lot of new abilities and things you can do in combat, as well as combat trials. So like you have this big sledgehammer type thing you can swing around, like spirit hammer or smash. You have a sword like attack, different modifiers and things that you can put on, like equipment and stuff. I say equipment, it's like kind of like the charms in Hollow Knight. That you can use to modify things and modify how you play the game. All sorts of things, different abilities and things. Not a lot of new stuff for traversal though. Like the only thing they really add for traversal is the ability to glide and the ability to burrow through sand really fast, which is obviously contextual. So not much there, but I do wish there was a little bit more bosses for combat, because they put so much effort into adding many different options for it. And I found myself lacking opportunities to really use a lot of that stuff.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, because by the time you're at the end of the game and you have everything, it's not like there's a boss rush or like a secret boss that I was able to find that you can fight. It's a relatively short game, as opposed to the forever game of Hollow Knight, which I'm comparing it to because again they're both Metroidvanias, both a bit more somber.
It's not a bad comparison by any means.
Yeah, I enjoyed that game. I'm not going to go back to it. I have a hard time going back to any Metroidvanias, but yeah, I look forward to whatever game they put out next. I do wish there was more combat and stuff to do with that, considering how much they put into it. But that's a recommendation for me. It was like half price. It was like, I gotta get this thing. It's way cheap.
How old is that game at this point?
Like a year or two.
Oh, so it's pretty unlikely they're going to get any DLC.
I don't think it's that kind of game. I don't think the first one did.
Oh yeah, it came out 2020.
Oh, okay. I mean, considering COVID, that's possible, but yeah.
It's a game where they give you a lot of different things to explore, but when you have your map fully filled out, and then the last things to explore are, here's just some of the currency, and like, what am I going to do with this currency? Well, you need to get this bundle of currency for it to count for completion. I'm like, I don't need it. I'm not going to go get that currency. Thank you very much. Oh, I remember there was something I did in this game. So I'm talking about how good this game is. There's lots of ways you can break this game, like a lot. And one of those ways is they give you a charm, basically. I'm calling it charm because it's Hollow Knight, that lets you jump 3 times. So with that and the abilities you have, you can sequence break certain areas and go to areas which you are not supposed to be able to go to unless you have a certain power up. And I ended up in a situation where I was in the water and I don't have an ability to dash out of the water, and my triple jump is just not high enough to get out of this pit that I'm in, and so I was stuck and I had to reset.
Shit, that sucks.
And there's like lots of little moments where it's like, I got this thing when I shouldn't have, and now that I have the power up to go get that thing, there's a lot less things for me to get, which is fine, but maybe don't add a triple jump as one of your things, because it's going to break a lot of the progression that you have in mind, because they have lots of different tools for you to move around. And also I broke the game really hard because I sequence broke everything and skipped all the dungeons accidentally. There is a breakable wall in the desert area, right? So I got a quest to go and gather these 4 wisps to go do a thing. And I went and I got the first wisp. The game practically gives it to you, and I'm going to go collect the second wisp, which I'm like, I'll go to the desert first. And there's this wall in this room off to the bottom right of the map that is breakable, but it's only breakable from the other side. However, they gave you a little sentry combat thing, and this thing can shoot through walls. So if I cling to a certain part of the wall and spawn this thing using all of my energy, like over and over and over again, I'm able to break through the wall. Because I thought, oh, hey, this room is big, but I can't get down there below. So I want to get down to the bottom section of this room because there's probably a treasure. So maybe if I can go through this breakable wall, I can go grab that treasure real quick. Just cheese my way a bit. And then I enter into this large room where there's lots of these invisible obstacles that haven't loaded in. And then there's a shrine. And I go in front of the shrine and a cutscene starts to play. And then you watch as 1 wisp flows out of Ori, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. And I'm like, wait, I don't have these wisps. What's going on? And yeah, turns out that was one of the final areas of the game. Just right there.
Yeah, I feel like that's a limitation of coding the sequence. Like, it should actually have to check that you have all the things that it wants you to have to go into that area. That it doesn't check that and just assumes you have them because you're there is kind of a failure on that, rather than anything else.
I started freaking out, and I had to restart. Because I'm like, I don't want to skip all the dungeons in the game, please, thank you. It's at times it feels like the game is just kind of stapled and glued together. It crashed multiple times while I was playing it. I mean, it frequently autosaves, but that's still frustrating that happens. And the weird thing is, I went through the proper story sequence. I didn't find that breakable wall on the loaded in room version of that. So I don't know why that's even there. Actually, no, I think I did later on, but still, lack of foresight. I guess for speedrunners, that's fine, right? That's a lovely thing to do.
Yeah, for that like 0.001% of players that are speedrunners, they'll have a grand old time.
Yeah, but aside from breaking Ori,
Yep. It's a new show.
breaking, we gotta cook coup. A little Ori spirit and a little owl just start cooking.
Gotta catch a wisp because it's in the thing. It's in the lab.
They're cooking up wisps in the lab. Give them all the little animals. Having a grand old time.
Coup. It could get into the cooking machinery, ruin everything. We gotta catch this wisp. The fly episode is the joke I'm making.
Yes, the fly episode. Aside from that, birthdays happened this weekend.
Yay.
It was my grandma's 80th birthday, and at the same time it was Dawn's birthday.
Yay!
Dawn in the Discord.
Baby
So
Dawn.
I got to have like 2 pieces of cake from 2 different cakes,
Yeah.
bouncing back and forth. Um,
Did you do the
I gave
sitcom thing of being like, "Hey, I'm at both parties. I'm here, and oh no, looks like it's I left the stove on. I better go to home and turn that off." And you just run to the other party, and then
I had to work it out of like, okay, I'll go here, then I'll go home for dinner and cake, and then I'll come back later over to your house for cake and presents. I go back and forth, back and forth. And I got to backseat game Dawn playing Breath of the Wild.
oh boy,
How did that
don't
go?
don't say that like it's a good thing.
I had to force Dawn to just please just go to Kakariko Village. You don't have to stay there. Just go. Literally all the problems you are telling me that you have with this game can be solved if you go there. And then she went there and it's like, oh, yes, you can buy armor here. You can buy arrows here. You can upgrade your armor here. You can buy supplies here. All the stuff that you can't do by wandering off on every single side road. Just please go on a straight path for 10 minutes. It's very tempting in Breath of the Wild to just go everywhere and veer off everywhere.
Yeah, it's almost like that's how the game is designed to tell you to play, is to just go
Yeah.
and do things instead of doing the main quest if you feel like it. But oh no, you really need to do. It's at war with itself.
Like the only reason why I was doing that was because she was getting really upset that she kept dying to everything in like 1 or 2 hits, and I'm like, you can get armor upgraded, you can get the arrows that you're missing in a town, and then after you go to Kakariko Village and you kind of get the sort of, okay, here are the 4 locations you need to go if you want to go do them, then you're fine to do whatever the heck you want. But
Yeah, I feel like exploring at that point is probably the ideal time to start doing it. Otherwise, also being locked at 3 hearts really is not fun. Pretty much everything kills you.
yeah. But hey, having like it took me a while to get to Kakariko as well, but you definitely don't have to. There's other ways you can go and get those same sorts of benefits if you go to other towns. There's some crazy routes that I've seen people do, but there comes a point where you have to just be like, if you're having all these problems, there's ways to solve them, so that you don't get frustrated with the game and then stop playing. Which I don't think she was going to, but
It's always a danger.
That's the fear. I got Dawn a Atalanta figure from Baco, which
Nice.
very much appreciates that.
Is that a favorite character of hers, or
Yes. In the entire game. So hey, that was nice. I got my grandma a Amazon gift card because that's all she
Did
wants.
you also get your grandmother a figurine?
No. She would complain about putting it together. Why, you have to put the head on? Nah, I'll do it later. And then it will never be put together. That's my grandma. So just get her an Amazon gift card because she doesn't want anything else because it's too much trouble. And can't think of anything else really of note except Saturday's gonna be I'm gonna be doing a second D&D game again. Though this one's gonna take place in the same world as like original world as the first. And I'm gonna be like alternating Saturdays doing that. Just because gosh darn it, I need to create more stuff. But yeah, that's me.
I shaved my head.
Congratulations, you no longer have a mane.
Yeah, that was one of the things I remembered I did, and I remembered by my hand going up, and oh yeah, I don't have hair anymore.
Is it enjoyable? Do you like it?
Yes. So, I think you, Slicer, had long hair at one point, yes?
Yes, about down to my shoulder blades.
Yeah. Showering sucks like that, doesn't it?
It does. It's like an
Yeah,
extra
it
20 minutes.
does. It takes like an extra 15-20 minutes to wash that shit. It sucks. Uh, yeah. So that's a good thing that, it saves me a lot of time. uh, I don't have to,
Yeah, imagine
like,
your showers just like got cut in half, if not more.
yeah. Uh, don't have to, like, faff with hair ties or combs or any of that shit. It's just like a fucking Brillo pad on top of my head. It's fine. It's all good. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. It is also pretty cool, which is good timing. Like I literally did it before we suddenly had what seems to be a mild heat wave, so that was good timing. Um, yeah, so that was a good decision. Made it a good time. Uh, the other thing that I did was I started playing Genshin Impact again. Yay!
You say that like you're giving up a part of your soul. Is that enjoyable?
I am giving up a part of my soul a little bit, but
Well, it's a gacha game, so a little bit. But
yeah,
I mean, is it fun to play?
yeah. I mean, I'm catching up on shit, and it's got this catch up mechanic, which is like, hey, if you do all this busy work that is part of the reason why you stop playing the game in the first place, then you get a bunch of extra materials. Yeah. So that's kind of contradictory to my purposes, but yeah, doing that, and that will probably take me all the way up to the next big update, which will have Wind Waker shit, where you have a boat and travel between islands and stuff. It's that summer event, I guess.
Okay, Wind Waker stuff is starting. Just want me to bring like it's starting to bring me back.
Yeah, I would wait to see what that actually looks like. I think it comes at like the 10th or something. I'd have to double check, but yeah, that is the next big thing, and the next story region is all islands as well. So I assume that's why they're doing this now, as a setup for that mechanic.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm in no rush to get back to that game,
Yeah.
but hmm.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I will. Yeah, forcing me to do a bunch of busy work as soon as I came back to the game because it will give me extra bonus stuff because I'm a returning player. That's not the way you do returning stuff. Do not do things that way. That is going to be like one of the top 5 reasons for people stopping playing the game in the first place is the busy work. So don't force them to do more when as soon as they come back, they will just quit again.
Yeah. When your game starts feeling like a job, yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. So, yeah.
As
Uh
much as a horrible money pit as it is, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes actually is pretty good at that. As your account levels up to level 85, which is the max, those daily grind things get faster. So I can do my dailies in like 15 minutes. That's like a whole play. Use all the energy I've built up, that kind of thing.
yeah, that I don't want to credit Fate Go for doing that too because technically they didn't. I just have builds that let me do that where I can just go and it's done in like 5-10 minutes. That's my AP spent for the morning. So yeah, I can't really credit that game for that, but it is convenient. I will say that much. Yeah, Genshin is a little more involved and is actually a game, so you can't really do that for that one. Yeah, but it's fun for a certain definition. It's it's nice to relax doing, I guess, is the way I'll put it for the time being of doing the busy work. You know, thing is, Shipbreaker is also good for that too. So I guess it's a question of whether I'm feeling sci-fi or fantasy that day.
Shipbreaker? What?
I'll say Shipbreaker.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a completely different thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Thought it was like a plumbing simulator or something. I don't know.
No, it's probably a mod for Viscera cleanup detail. I have to assume.
I don't think you even need a mod to clean up shit in that game.
It's mostly blood and guts and stuff. Giblets.
I always find the word giblets just hilarious.
Tell a lie. If there is a sewer level, you absolutely do have to clean up shit in Viscera cleanup detail. Sorry. Sorry. I remembered because that was the level that made me stop playing Viscera Cleanup Detail. Not because it was disgusting, but because, like, what am I supposed to be cleaning here? It's a sewer. Like, what am I doing here? Yeah. So that's the thing I started doing. I'm looking forward to the update. I hope it's good. I'm looking forward to the busy work bullshit going away so that I can actually go back to playing the game. There are a bunch of quests that are in my log that I would like to do that I haven't done yet. So, yeah.
Genshin Impact. The game in which I went back to try and get the Hat Girl, only to discover that I hate Primogem.
Yeah, their currency model is really stupid. Like, just actually getting it as free currency, that's, sure, whatever. But then they also have a premium currency that you can't use to do anything but buy the free currency. Like, why? I don't know. Maybe they're planning to build more stuff into the premium currency, but for the time being, all you can do is waste it on a bunch of easily farmable materials, or just buy more regular currency to do other stuff with. Like, there's no point. So, also Zero's internet has died, so he's gone. Oh,
He's left us.
yeah, he's on a phone, not in the call.
What's
though. He? Yeah, he's online on the phone, but not on the call.
Oh, gotcha.
Because his internet's gone, so he's probably using his, like, data plan or whatever. Yum. That's thrown me. I have nothing else, but I don't know. Do we wait for him to come back, or?
Oh no. I mean, did it feel like he had anything left?
I mean, he already went and stuff, and I don't have anything else, and you don't have anything else, and Patreon hasn't gone through yet. That's next week. Yeah, I guess that's an episode. Bit of a squittering wet fart to end on, but
these things happen. I mean, It's not the first time we've ran into technical issues right at the
Cruella
end. At least it wasn't at the
Bends.
beginning.
Cruella Jaguar XJ220. I can't get past the fucking car thing. I really can't. It's so dumb.
It's really dumb. At least it's something you can have fun with.
Cruella Torreno. Yep. So that's an episode of the podcast. Is there actually a Flux car? Because I'm thinking the episode should be like Fandom Flux was named for a car. Also, I'm pretty sure I just said Fandom Flux. That's not what I meant to say. Accurate though.
Oh.
Patreon is a thing that exists. Feel free if you feel like it. Link in the description. Discord, public and stuff. You don't need to be a patron or anything. You can just join. Just link in the description. This episode.
Yeah, join us. We got a lot of really cool people, actually.
Yeah, like Baby Dawn, who is small and adorable.
There's many aspects of this podcast I'm proud of, and the community we built up is definitely one of them.
Yeah, even though most of them didn't come for us, but whatever. Who gives a shit?
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
They usually realize pretty quick that Kenshi is sadly not part of it anymore.
Yeah.
But he's doing his own thing, and I respect.
Yeah. And they leave. He'd probably say something about taking the link out of his profile.
Yeah. I mean, I want to say he's in more episodes than he isn't, for at least now. So I think it's still valid.
Yeah.
It's up to him, probably.
Yeah, I guess. Woo. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.